Miguel, LeBlanc, Nicola Gazzetto. Miguel's shoulder committal and straight down, crush it right over top. Round after round. Nicola did get it outside in round 3, able to keep it out of Miguel's hand and have some success, but right back into that shoulder and straight through. Miguel LeBlanc with the win. Story of the day here for this match. Miguel's shoulder being too strong coming forward.
All right, Miguel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to finally meet you. How was referee 2 days out tournament today?
Refereeing was definitely fun. Definitely tiring.
Yeah.
I've never ref 2 days in a row before, but it's taking the next step. So I just got my level 2 referee certification within the last month. My goal is to become a master referee at some point. So this experience is very important.
Yeah. Do you like referee better than arm wrestling?
I love both. Both are needed. The thing is, you can't have an arm wrestling match without referees or pullers, right? So there's a time and place for both.
Yeah, for sure. I think, well, at this stage of your career, I think arm wrestling should be your focus, right? Not referee.
Arm wrestling is definitely my focus, but I do feel like refereeing and getting a better understanding of the rules can improve you as an arm wrestler. And I feel that with myself. Yeah,
so for those people that actually see you for the first time on this channel, you are North American under 23 champ, right?
Yes.
Currently?
Yes.
And a national champ, Canadian national, second place, I think?
I've podiumed 3 times at the Canadian Nationals.
Okay, in what class?
Senior men's, and there was a one-time youth category back in 2022, so.
Yeah, okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Like, you're 22, right?
Yes.
That's pretty young for an arm wrestler. At your level right now, I feel like your level is really, really high.
Thank you.
Like, so take us back to when you first started. Was it a family thing? Did you discover it online? And what did you like about it when you first saw it?
So, of course, like many people, I grew up arm wrestling with my family and friends at school, lunch table. I used to arm wrestle with my dad at home. But my first introduction to the pro sport came through Devin Larratt, as I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah.
He had a meet and greet with Juji Mufu in downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
This was the first freedom arm wrestling video that he ever made. And I ditched school to go be there with one of my friends. So I arm wrestled Devin my first time and a couple other guys from there, and immediately I was hooked.
Yeah.
I started talking to the guys who had a club, and I started training right away after that. That was back in 2019.
2019, so 5 years?
Yes.
Around 5 years. But actually, wow, when thinking about that, I met Devin, I think years before Juji Movie video, basically. Yeah. So, you know, I've been involved in arm wrestling for quite a while now, on and off, and it's amazing to see you started at that time until now. 5 years in arm wrestling is not a lot of time to
It's not.
It's not a lot of time, right? To get to, especially to get to a world level, a national level, like you progress quite rapidly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I saw you went to a WAF tournament. How was
Yes.
that experience like?
So
The level. Talk about the levels and what you see here compared to what you see here today.
So one of the things that I'm just going to start off with the Ottawa Open. It's an amazing event. If you ever get the chance to come out, it's great. Especially for the novice and the youth pullers, it's just a great time. The level is extremely high, but WAF itself is a different monster entirely. My first experience with WAF in 2023, I went to Kazakhstan to compete in the under 23 category
What year?
in 2023, and my first match was Daniel Ustinov, who we now know is the current East versus West champion of the world.
Oh shit, that's
So-
crazy.
Flying 25 hours and spending quite a bit of money. The first match I get is Daniel. It was definitely an eye opener.
So how did that match go? Tell us.
We slipped. There was a false start called on him, and then he just destroyed me the next go. So humbling experience for sure.
Yeah.
But the second time I went back to WAF this year in 2024, I'll just confirm. In 2023, I didn't win a single match. I went 0-4. That was it. Didn't win a match.
By good experience, you learned something from it?
Good experience, but I feel lots of people would be discouraged at that point.
Yeah.
But you never win your first one. That's the thing. With going to a level like the World
Wait, that was your
Championships-
first tournament?
No, my first World Championship.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes. Now, back in 2024, I had a much better performance. I pulled in the 165 pound or 75 kilo class, and out of 16 competitors, I took 7th on right and 6th on left, or 9th on left, my apologies. So I got a couple wins. I went from going 0-4 to 2 wins and 2 losses on right,
Yeah.
and definitely I can feel the level is getting closer, but it's still so far away.
Yeah, well, it's a world level tournament. So,
Yes.
you know, to win even one is like quite an achievement. Especially going up against people from all over the world, right?
Yes.
Top guys from each country.
Yes.
So, you know, you should really be proud of it. And of course, you want to be better than that as times go by. And yeah, it's amazing to progress that way.
Thanks. Pleasure to meet you, man. Great job today.
He's a ref, one of the refs?
That's one of the competitors. I was
Oh,
refereeing.
okay, I see. Okay, so WAF was a good experience, and what's the plan? Like, are you going by next year?
Yes. So my first competition of the new year is going to be the North American Championships.
Yeah.
So I'm turning 23 in the year 2025. It's my final year to compete as a youth.
Yeah.
So I want to win the North American Championships in February,
Yeah.
the Pan Americans, so North and South,
Yeah.
in June, and then I want to win a medal at the Worlds.
Yeah.
So that's my goal for this year. Of course, super matches and other local events along the way, but those are the 3 tournaments that I want to win.
Okay, tell me why.
There's just something about competing on an international level. It's scary, at the same time it's exciting. You don't know any of the guys you're gonna meet. Even in Canada, with it being such a large country, if you go to the nationals, you do know quite a few of the guys you're gonna play.
Yeah.
If you go to a tournament outside of your country, you have no idea. And that sort of unknown factor, it gets my adrenaline going, and I enjoy that experience.
Yeah. So that means you got to be very confident. You got
am.
to train hard. You got to be very focused. Yeah, that's a good goal to have in arm wrestling, because if you do well, or you know, have a good luck in winning all of them in the same year, calendar year, that will put you in a much better place where you want to go, right?
Yes.
Because you do want to become like making a thing for yourself, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about goals then. In the short term, like you just talked about, the next year you want to win different tournaments, and that's going to allow you to maybe qualify for even a pro league.
Yes.
Even like an East versus West, that type of.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So that's
That's the long-term goal.
That's a long-term goal. So talk about a little bit of that, and talk about what your plan, not just next year, but maybe a few years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So within the next year, like we said, short-term goal, it's my final year as a youth under 23 competitor, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the international events as much as I can. And then sort of in the next couple of years, I'm gonna be transitioning to pulling the senior categories exclusively if I go to international events. So that level is much higher.
Between the junior
Yes,
senior,
I believe so. Now there are quite a number of exceptional youth pullers who do end up podiuming or winning in the seniors, but for example, the senior world champion in my category would be Daniel Prokopchuk. That's quite a level to reach for after pulling just juniors under 23.
Yeah.
So I see that as more of a 5-10 year goal.
Yeah.
I would like to become a senior world champion. And I want to become a master referee. I want to contribute to the sport as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with becoming a senior world champion, you have that recognition and the respect and the pedigree to warrant a match at East versus West or King of the Table. These pro promotions, which is everyone is really striving for. I think that's everyone's goal. Everyone wants to be on the big stage, on the pay-per-views, in the spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah. That feels amazing, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
exhilarating.
one of the best feeling in life.
Yes.
Right. To go through such a hard experience to get to top level.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not there, and I cannot imagine how much of work it's required, how much time, how much dedication that you need to put in order to even win a tournament like this that we just had today requires really real focus.
Yes.
Yeah, so what you're doing is actually it's gonna require you to really be 100% focused. Basically.
Yes.
Right. So now I wanted to just let track about a little bit because we're talking about sport of arm wrestling. Growing up, like as a kid, why not soccer? Because soccer has a lot of money in it, right?
Yeah.
Arm wrestling doesn't. Why do you believe in the future? Because we do this because we believe that in the future things will be better financially. How arm wrestling is seen by the world. So why not soccer? Why not maybe another sport and arm wrestling for you?
So I started off actually wanting to be in the NBA. I played basketball a lot as a kid, but then when I realized I wasn't going to grow anymore, I wasn't tall enough, I switched my focus to other things. The sport I played before arm wrestling, which I believe goes hand in hand with it, really is chess. I was a fairly high level chess player. It's an individual sport, not too much money involved, but I feel there's more satisfaction in individual sports if it's something that you really love. Now, regarding the future of arm wrestling, no one can predict the future accurately, but I do see arm wrestling potentially evolving into an Olympic sport, a mainstream sport, something that's in high schools, colleges, that's accessible and has funding from the government in North America. Like lots of these Eastern European countries, the framework is already there. The athletes get paid, and there's incentives for winning, which is why they do like statistically better than us at the WAF Worlds and the IFA Worlds. They're doing better. But I see a bright future in North America in terms of government support and the sport growing. I mean, today I think we had almost 800 entries.
Almost 800. That's a little bit more than last year, right?
Yes,
if I can remember correctly.
Broke the record by, I'm not sure by how much. Eric would have to confirm.
I think it's 100. I think last year was about 700 something.
Yes, so the sport is growing. We just need to keep on track, and I believe the future is with juniors. The younger athletes grow into the sport, right?
Yeah.
In terms of framework, if you have access to getting people involved as a sport is sport in school, the sport grows massively and there's more people involved.
Yeah, that's actually a starting point, a good starting point, and we just need people to be able to see it, right?
Yes.
And it's actually you. I do a little bit of it too. I enjoy doing it, and I think as long as we show our love for it and we try to show it in public, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. One point I don't think I touched on, why arm wrestling? The future of arm wrestling could be very dark. We could go down a very bad path and I would still do it.
Give me a glimpse of that, because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Let's say none of the major promotions we have currently going on fall through.
Yeah.
And we don't get any government funding and people start to fizzle out of the sport because there's not enough money to make a living. I would still arm wrestle every day. I would still train for it, I would still compete, and I would still referee. Because at the end of the day, it's not the future of arm wrestling I'm invested in it, it's in now. So I get to enjoy the sport now, and although I have a positive outlook on the future, no matter what happens, I'll still enjoy the sport.
Yeah, for sure, because why do something that you don't enjoy, right?
Of course.
Spend the time doing something that you like. and should be satisfied, I guess, at the basic level,
Yes.
right? So just recap. Your plan is to win tournament in the next 12 months. I hope that you do well.
Thank you.
You showed a lot of passion today. Like he stood here for like the whole day, and he
6,
does that
7
again
hours,
today.
yeah.
Hours, and it's like 10 minutes break in between, and that's a lot. It requires a lot of love for the sport. And
Respect to your referees,
yeah,
please.
I was a competition today, so he wasn't my friend. Okay, so yeah, just good luck in that, and I hope that you progress, and I do hope to see you as a Canadian, right? I live in Canada, so I hope to see more Canadians at East versus West.
Thank you.
In the next 10 years, and I'm sure you will get there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
As long as you keep going, and yeah, that's what I hope. And really, for me, I just want to keep doing videos, I guess, to showcase you, like people like you,
Thank you.
young guys, and having goals on becoming a professional arm wrestler. And I think that's a really cool thing, right? Just one last thing, we're gonna do something more fun.
Okay.
Just talking about arm wrestling, it's not as fun, right? So this game is called, it's an arm wrestling game. It's
Okay.
called Blind Ranking.